Kanihu Nalani Kanileoha Ikapilia Kaheleona Ho'ola Aku puna Ho'ola Aku puna Ho'ola mai ne Ho'ola mai ne Apili vai ha na kupuna vai ha Kapili vai hana makua mai hana hea E o e o e o e o e o Emana opanoi, kupa apanoi, hemeleno, kupua e kamanao. Emana opanoi, kupa apanoi, hemeleno, kupua e kamanao. Ka eleku kupa apanoi Kaulana vale oi hemeleno kupua e kamanao Kaulana vale oi ko ha oi hemeleno kupua e kamanao He ho'o he no pili ka pu'uvei Ka eleku kupa aponoi Ko ha'a oi Ka lama oi Hemeleno Kupua e kamanao Ka lama oi Hei noa ka eleku Hemeleno Kupua e kamanao Hemana opanoi Hemana opanoi Hemana opanoi Ku Ka hokulo aku I kei ala Ho'o ke lele ka pahi la Ka hokulo aku ike ala Ho ka hivaleno ka palapalaha Kumua te tumu Kumua te tumu Ka hokulo aku ike ala Ho kena vaila ka pulu-puluha Kumua te tumu Kumua te tumu Ka hokulo aku ike ala Ho lana mai la ka pani vaiha Kumua te tumu Kumua te tumu Ka hokulo aku ike ala Ho vahi mai la ka poli-poliha Kumua te tumu Kumua te tumu Ka hokulo aku ike ala Ho kele vaila ka pane vaiha Kumua te tumu Kumua te tumu Kalanila ini kala velaha ikia vahipana velano hi velano hokupu Te aroha, te aroha, te aroha, vaiha. O kalani o ka po ahivela ke akua i ka pō ke akua i ka la i ta maipi e ta mariki i ka maka ona ona ahivela ke aloha ahivela ke aloha ahivela ke aloha maupopo lohe ia o ka pali ka pu'oe o ka pali ka pu'oe o ka pali ka pu'oe vaiha i tamariki vaiha tamariki vaiha tamariki vaiha
Welcome to Samadhi Game. This is our regularly scheduled Saturday morning broadcast. We give these broadcasts on both Saturday morning and Thursday evening. The idea for the schedule that we're holding is that on Thursday evenings we can take the mantras to bed with us. On Saturday mornings we can wake with sort of like a mini 2-day break ahead of us. Most of us, not even most of us, I don't know how many of us, but a number of us will indeed find Saturday and Sunday a little bit less stressed out than Monday through Friday. So Saturday morning we wake up and we say, thank God for this break, this rest that we have for 2 days, this opportunity to recharge, rebuild, to do projects that we need to get done that we would never get done if we were under the influence of a very difficult schedule. So hopefully many of you viewing this will have some time on Saturday and Sundays to take these mantras and use them as a platform for moving forward. I named today's program Masters of Time and Space, holding to the love despite all circumstances. To you, Masters in Time and Space, you out there who are indeed the bearers of eternity in your heart. We are here in embodiment in this place of duality, learning to cope with all the vagaries of yin and yang, all the pluses and all the minuses, all the positives and all the negatives. And we have to learn. We learn. It doesn't just happen. We learn how to hold to that ineffable love despite all outer circumstances. Time after time in the great annals of yoga and spiritual life, you find examples of people who have been practicing their yoga for years and years, and then they're put up against a situation in which they are challenged, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. One way or another, they're given a great challenge in order to throw them off their horse, really. And despite the fact that they may have nails in their hands or been put out in the middle of a desert someplace, whatever it is, they keep holding to this ineffable presence of love, this compassionate, forgiving, loving center of being that gives rise to everything. And so with Samadhi Game, we're practicing, despite the fact that we're speaking, that we're moving our bodies, our mouths, our tongues, we're speaking the words of eternity rather than words of anger, grief, frustration, doubt, fear. We're speaking the words of the immortal self within, these mantras rarely uttered in the physical world, rarely said in this realm, this veil of tears that we live in this round of duality. Rarely will you hear people affirming these things that you find in Samadhi Game Tribe, manifesto of an insight and awareness. So I encourage you, come with me. Be the master of time and space and hold to this love despite the circumstances, despite whatever is challenging your physical, mental, emotional self. Hold to the deepest core. This is the challenge. We're tempted to harden our hearts in the day of the provocation, as it's said in the Bible. We're tempted to harden our hearts and say, no, I won't love anymore. I am hardened now, and I am not going to give any love anymore. Well, that's the temptation. And the Christ, the Buddha, sits and says, no, I sit in the center of being, and I will forgive. I will go forward with compassion, with love, with caring, with beauty, with devotion, with caring. I will continue to give forth my gift despite the fact that I am being riddled with this confrontation. And so in Samadhi Game, we go into that core with the mantras. We go into that core and we hold consciously to the words of eternity and allow those words of eternity to become an outer structure in our consciousness so that we can hold to other things in this world from that perspective. Anyway, that's it. Good morning, Kathleen. Good morning. Welcome to Samadhi Game. I'm getting my Robbie-made cup of great chocolate coffee. And I think Robbie will be joining us a little bit later in the broadcast. I hear her moving in the back rooms, so we'll see if she can get it together in time to get out here and do some mantras with us. We are preparing to be masters of time and space. We already are that. We just have to remember it. We have to master all of these vagaries of yin and yang. No, we just started. Kathleen is wondering if she's late. No, we just started the broadcast a few minutes ago, and I'm just getting warmed up here. I haven't even tuned into the Samadhi Game Manifesto of Enlightenment yet, and brought us to any of the mantras as of yet. And so I'm going to just find a mantra here as long as I'm while I'm talking with you. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Friday night, a wonderful, joyous evening, and a rest, and a closure to the week's difficulties. I wanted to read something this morning as we're getting into the Samadhi Game Manifesto of Enlightenment. If you're becoming a regular devoted member of the Samadhi Game tribe, then you have to realize that there's something here that we have to read. It's called a disclaimer. Playing, if you're a player, so I say playing, you're playing this Samadhi game, is potent medicine and should be used with caution, respect, and innocence. Enjoy truth and real fun. No less integrity of the user is demanded. Should you opt to use the secrets of being formally vouchsafed to only the highest initiates on the path, in selfishness, anger, or any form of discord and dissonance with the perfection of the universe, a discernment that becomes more refined with the surrender to the real self, you must know that the return of that creation will be solely your responsibility and will need to be rectified by you at some time in your life path. The effects of this spoken Course in Miracles samadhi game are dramatic and are the same as that which one would receive in the deepest meditative states. The same as has been experienced by every adept, such as Jesus, Gautama, and Muhammad, to name just a few. Many adepts have come onto this planet and have left this planet without any fanfare whatsoever. Those great ones that have walked our fair planet and taught this same truth, or at least lived this same truth. The effects of the use of samadhi game could be disruptive to your beliefs and disorienting to your ego. The effects of the use of samadhi game could be disruptive to your beliefs, your belief systems, and disorienting to your ego. However, when used regularly with love and respect, realizations will come, patterns will change, joy will increase, and the fine print, surrender of the old, worn-out garments of the dual human ego will be demanded. Okay. Now, knowing that, would you like to join me in samadhi game mantras? Let's go to, okay, I thought I had all of this at the beginning of the book. It's interesting. Sorry, I'm making you dizzy. Let me take you out of this screen so you don't have to get dizzy. I'm going to try to find my my mantras here. My last mantra in the book is what I'm trying to find. It's here. Let's start with the blessings of spiritual giants. So if we're talking about all of us being masters of time and space, let's name some masters of time and space that have actually earned that appellation and have given themselves to giving out these names so that we can use them here to draw their presence close to us. Let's give the blessings of spiritual giants as the beginning of today's session. Come on with me now. Oh, and now we're going to name these spiritual giants: Saint Germain and the Ascended Jesus, Milarepa and the Ascended Milarepa, the Ascended Kuan Yin, and Bodhidharma. If you'd like, you can look these names up in Wikipedia and find out exactly who they are and what they stand for, what belief systems they come out of, and how we're all striving for the same thing. Claire de Lys, Lanello, and Sir Laugh-A-Lot. Now that is a name that I like. Sir Laugh-A-Lot. Paramhansa Yogananda, well-known guru from the East. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, a great guru, and he was the head of one of the most audacious groups, the Hare Krishnas. We've all seen and had some criticism, I'm sure, and at times in our life of how silly it looked for these people to be jumping around or selling cookies at the airports. And Hans Baba, a great, very small, structured man from India who runs an entire section of the country by his spiritual genius, by his devotion to the One. His devotion, his joyous devotion to the One, holds together an entire region of India. And he's alive today, and I met him, and he gave me a blessing. He gave me his specific touch of blessing and said that he is with me and wanted to support my work. Babaji, Gautama Babaji. People have heard the legends of Babaji, the legends that he has lived for over 900 years or over 1,000 years. The legends are a little bit different, but for some reason they all say that he's lived on this planet in a physical body for a long, long time, holding from the highest regions in the Himalayas, his meditation on harmony and the ongoingness of this planet, so that whatever is assailing the planet, the consciousness and the dual human ego, is somehow held and balanced by his great being that stands through time and in physical embodiment as a testament to eternity. Gautama Buddha, who sat under the bo tree and gave his first lecture at where was it called? Just outside of Delhi. But it was anyway. Gautama Buddha. Most people know that name. And the angel Deva of the Jade Temple. Now, this is a great angel that presides over the healing temple of the jade. This is sort of a more esoteric name, but it's a name that's been given through the Ascended Master teachings. If you ever want to look into that, look it up on Wikipedia, look it up online, you'll find more reference to that. Our teaching, the Samadhi Game teaching, is in alignment with all of these teachings, including the more recent New Age teachings, the direct teachings, the direct path teachings, the teachings of devotion, the teachings of action. We use it all of the yogas, all of the ways, the paths. And then in this document here, you'll also see some initials that I've established there. Those initials are there to remind me of those who are in embodiment now, who have been specific mentors for me on the pathway to enlightenment, which is always continuing onward and upward. And then we'll continue the meditation together with our words. We invoke your radiant hope and constant blessing for the world. O majestic samadhi of active peace, potent knowing, invited healing love and compassion. I am, transmuting and consuming everything but the eternal light of perfection. These purifying flames effusing the love, light, and joy of the universe. Governing, educating, and protecting all flux in the akashic, mental, emotional, and physical pranas, chakras, and meridians of humanity, Terra, and her elements. Liberating divine love and freedom, which is, was, and is to come. The everlasting nectar of Samadhi. And this is a picture of the great master, Saint Germain, who appeared in Europe as Le Comte de Saint Germain, and tried to bring a United States of Europe together, and wasn't quite effective at that, but traveled around bringing his wisdom to all the heads of state in Europe at the time. And they have named a great street in Paris after him, Boulevard Saint-Germain, and great means holy brother. He is our holy brother who has been anointed with the great appellation of Hierarch of the Seventh Ray. So he is this master who has mastered the idea of transmutation, of change, of the transmogrification from the dense dual human ego to the oneness of the divine. And what it takes in order to do that all along the way, all the different levels of those changes that must take place in order for us to finally ascend into that light which is one. O holy brother Saint Germain, be with us today. O great master, let us know in ourselves the mastery that you know. Let us know in ourselves that same mastery. Be with us, stand with us, hold with us thy great presence all about us. Hold that Merkaba in your hands over our heads. See if I can get it over my head. The Merkaba over my head, so that it may transmute all negativity, all anxiety, fear, doubt, frustration, anger, whatever it is, transmuted that lower consciousness into the joy of the divine, the eternal oneness, presented again and again and again through every circumstance in life. No matter what those circumstances, that joy just keeps coming forth. That Merkaba keeps spinning and keeps bringing forth the light throughout time and space, claiming, taking dominion over the earth substance, all duality, all physical, mental, emotional, and etheric substance in this octave of existence. Now let's go to the closing pillar of light, the pillar of the world. This is a mantra that will take us and surround us and protect us and hold us within the grace of that eternal oneness that we are, that master that we are. Come on with me, let's give this mantra together. Sublime I am, Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. My identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. Into and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego, charging my world and all I contact with the tangible substance, living awareness and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious samadhi of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines or radiates and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant one, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I am Samadhi. We're going to give this 2 more times through, and we're going to keep giving it throughout the rest of our lives. So get used to this. This is a mantra that will protect us from negativity, that brings us into alignment with our divine self, our threefold flame, and anchors us in that gift that we are to give. Sublime I am, Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. My identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. Into and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego, charging my world and all I contact with the tangible substance, living awareness and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious samadhi of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, can you see it? Feeling, and hearing. Hear the tone. This light, as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me, is a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant one, and infinitely sensitive to that invulnerable state of divine I am Samadhi. We're going to give it again before we give the Om in the last stanza. Really feel, as we're giving this mantra, feel as though this is your reality. Really feel this, the truth of what you're saying about yourself, of who you're speaking to, what part of yourself, this great divine being that I am, this great masterful being of Samadhi that I am. Sublime I am, Samadhi that I am, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. Let's take a moment on that. When you're enfolded in this great, glorious being, do you think that that great, glorious being is going to brook any interference whatsoever? Do you think that that great, glorious I am Samadhi that I am is going to allow any disturbance into its world whatsoever? Don't you think that that great, glorious I am Samadhi would draw the line in the sand and say, thus far and no further? At some point, the dual human ego must surrender, must come into alignment with the I am that I am in you. all of that creation that you have created in past, present, and future time must come into alignment with this oneness of divine identity, enfolding me now in that mighty, magic, electronic pillar of cosmic light substance. My identification with its magnificent humility and thoughtful creativity, so powerful and complete, that I artfully and magically alter every polarity with healing unity. Within this majestic pillar of light blazes that love as the violet, compassionate flame. Can you feel that compassion blazing upon the altar of the heart? In, through, and around my etheric, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, it radiates and sends forth that radiation throughout all of your bodies. Let it glow and glow big. Let it fill the room where you sit. And let it become the entire neighborhood where you live. Let it reach out even further. This, how big can you make it? How dense can you hold it? This great feeling tone of compassion, of love, wisdom, and power, reaching out now even beyond your neighborhood into the entire city that you live in. You find yourself having to put away fear and doubt in order to allow that vibration to grow that large and potently large. You find yourself having to put away anxiety and frustration in order to allow it to grow even larger, as large as the state you live in. Is it possible? Be as the Buddha for this. As you grow your consciousness, grow your vibration, this mastery, despite the flux of the dual human ego. Effortlessly dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling the dualities of my human ego, charging my world and all I contact with the tangible substance, living awareness and conscious activity, the presence and superconscious samadhi of all enlightened beings, liberated and ascended masters, seeing, feeling, and hearing this light as it shines, radiates, and resonates within me as a visible pillar of the world, stabilized, supported, and sustained by the brilliant, elegant one. Have no doubt about it. Your willingness to hold, to call, to invite into your world this matrix of divine energy is supported and sustained by that brilliant, elegant one. That oneness hears your intention and brings it forth. And even though it protects you completely against all negativity, it increases your sensitivity to that invulnerable state of divine I am samadhi. Come with me with the Om. Completing this mantra with the last stanza. From that eternity, that Om comes, and eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. Eternity is my home. I do all that is necessary to actualize this ever-fresh realization and organize my life around it. And just sit for a few moments in that home. Built of substance not of this world, built of the substance of oneness. If you're new to Samadhi Game and you're just joining us, you'll notice that we use all the different techniques that have been passed down through the ages in order to amplify and put ourselves in alignment with that divine nature that we are. We're not doing anything different, really, than any other path of enlightenment, any other religion. We're just bringing it to the fore and saying, this is what it is, and really accepting the fact, our responsibility and our oneness. We're going beyond these limiting concepts of the footstool kingdom, the mundane consciousness of being an ego only, but we rather identify ourselves with that divine matrix within. And then we use all these different potentials, all these different mantras in order to actualize that oneness by stating it for ourselves. Mantras that are rarely used in this physical octave. Most of the mantras in this physical octave are, I'm wealthy, I'm strong, I'm attractive, I'm successful, I earn lots of money, I have lots of great sex, I'm very famous. This is the mantras of the world. And it's okay to have those mantras as long as you know where you come from with that mantra. If you know you come from eternity, and this is only a short period before you actually leave the planet, then it's okay. And if you're bringing the essence of that higher nature into all of these different disciplines and areas of life, fine. But most don't. The mantra is devoid of the mantra of divine identity and all about the mantra of the dual human ego. It's unfortunate. But that's the way this world is. And if you want to break free of the cage of the dual human ego, you've got to do something about it. You've got to come into a sort of realization of some sort and get to the point where you've got to move on. And so I constructed this entire chapter. It's the, I'll see if I can find it here for you, and I'll bring it up on the screen. Yes. Developing your alchemical momentum. This alchemical momentum, this devotional structuring of your consciousness in such a way that it actually draws down the light of eternity in a more tantric way than ever before you've realized in your life. Because it's always happening this way. What you know today is only a part of it. What you know tomorrow is a little bit more, but not enough yet. Your enlightenment will continue to increase. Shiva's enlightenment will continue to increase. Jesus' enlightenment will continue to increase. All of us will continue on a path for eternity. That's why we have to look at it as a game, as something fun to play. We move forward from this octave of existence into the next octave, and I'm sure there's another game established there in that next octave of existence that will be a wonder to us when we find it. So this is called Ruby Ray Power and Violet Compassionate Transmutation. And I'd like to give these mantras of the violet light today to some extent. So come on and join me. If you're just joining in with Samadhi Game, you'll notice that these mantras are worded matrices, each word having its own power, and then when you link them together, they begin to create a web, an antakarana of light, word to word, creating more of a structure of light so that it has more power in our worlds rather than just Om. Just one word. This is many words that are infused with the presence, the samadhi of Om. I am. So let's go on. Let's go on and give some more. Adorable I am, samadhi that I am. This is Ruby Ray Power and Violet Compassionate Transmutation. We're going to use that very dense, deep, ruby color, which is the amplification of the violet light. In certain points in this mantra, we think of it even as deeper than violet. Violet is sort of a pinkish glow. Ruby is a very deep, almost purple color. And that deep ruby goes more to the core, more to the density of our dual human ego and starts to shatter it, starts to break it up so that we can actually transmute and live more fully in the wealth and abundance of I am that I am. So come on. Adorable I am, samadhi that I am. That supreme ruler of ruby ray power and the unconditional love of the violet flame that dispassionately dissolves, consumes, transmutes, and reconciles all phases of the wheel of karma in pure enjoyment. In resonant formation with, and here we're saying again the names of these masters, because we too are masters, and we are invoking that mastery, the same mastery that these great masters, these great names knew. You shall know them because you shall be like them. You can only know a great master because you're like that great master in some way. The ascended Paramahansa Yogananda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Hans Baba, Sir Launcelot, Saint Germain and Portia, Elohim, Arcturus and Victoria, Paramahansa Yogananda and Holy Amethyst, Omritas, ruler of the violet planet, the great cosmic light and mighty lords of the flame from Venus. The hierarchs of the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and Akasha, Virgo and Pelor, Aries and Thor, Prince Ramesses and Diana, Neptune and Lara, and Zeus and Tara. I fly towards the secret sky of ruby ray power and violet compassionate transmutation, and cause 100 veils of illusion to fall each moment. 100 veils of illusion to fall each moment. Can you imagine? 100 veils just, and now it's clear in front of you. And then another moment, another 100 veils fall. Down, another 100 veils. Keep clearing, keep clearing, keep clearing. Understanding that the illusions are dropping away and the clarity is becoming your true vision again. As Portia, you can say any great names you like, but as Portia, as Saint Germain, Claire de Lis, Linello, El Moria, Kuthumi, and the Mahat Chohan, I stand as the same beings that these beings are. I say in their presence, with their momentums, with their truth, with their understanding, with their light, thus far and no farther. I release the transfiguring action of ruby ray power and the measureless mercy of added flame into the cause, effect, record, and memory of that tempting and tormenting ego, including the fears and the desires of, we've gotten to one of those places where we have to come up with the coordinates of square ESP processing. You'll have to look into chapter 2 to see all about what ESP processing is. But basically, we're going to find a bar magnet of duality, and we're going to find the neutral witness, a quality of the neutral witness that abides within the middle of those two poles of duality and brings reconciliation to them. So what are we working with here today? What are we seeing? Let me see here. Holding to love despite the circumstance. Okay. That's what we wanted to work with. Holding to love despite circumstance. So we have circumstance and we have presence. And between circumstance and presence is witness. Let's say that. Circumstance, presence, and witness. So, I release the transfiguring action of ruby ray power and measureless mercy. Circumstance, presence, and witness. I release the transfiguring action of ruby ray power and the measureless mercy of the divided flame into the cause, effect, record, memory of that tempting and tormenting ego, including the fears and the desires of circumstance and presence. It is transmuted and consumed on the instant in love and witness. I will it done by the power of love and witness. I open and charge the golden pink radiance of divine love and its most powerful dynamic activity into the world and all mankind, and into the world of my mind, feelings, and body, my home, and all my spiritual, sexual, social, recreational, romantic, personal, family, domicile, dietary, health, medical, career, financial, business, political, and legal affairs. All compassionate I am Samadhi, that I am. I am the eternal, complete, and unconditional forgiveness and command of all dual human ego created down the corridors of past, present, and future. All transmuting I am Samadhi that I am. I open through me now that Vedic consuming flame of divine love and compassion. I identify and surrender my human self-concern and all patterns and habits of duality, appetites for illusion, fears and desires of circumstance and presence. That's very abstract duality, but it still has its polarity. I dissolve, transmute them all. Cause, effect, record, and memory, past, present, and future. I replace them all with the fullness of myself, including witness. That state of perfect samadhi, held with full dominion, here, now, and forever. As the all-seeing I am of Samadhi, my very own neutral witness and silent watcher of all mankind. Elohim Cyclopeia, the great karmic board in Sinchimin. Let's look at that Cyclopeia. We're looking at the mastery names. The names of mastery, which are your names. Ultimately, your names. Cyclopeia, that great single-eyed vision, that raising of the light throughout all the chakras, up to that point between the eyebrows, that Ajna chakra, they call it in the East, that focus, they call it in the West. They even have pictures of it on our dollar bills, the capstone of the pyramid, that divine vision, that vision. Without vision, the people perish. Without vision, the individual is wayward. You hold the vision by creating the vision with your intention. Cyclopeia is the master of vision. Cyclopeia, Cyclopeia, great being, great Elohimic level being. We're not just talking about a master here with this name. We're talking about an Elohimic. And if you go back to Elohimic, you'll see Elohimic is representative of the 7 fundamental consciousnesses of God Almighty eternity. Encyclopedia being that ray of science and mastery, of religion, that ritualistic, visionary being that Cyclopeia is. The great karmic board and Saint Germain. Again, we're bringing up Saint Germain, that great karmic board, a compilation of beings that oversee and adjudicate to each of our karmic situations. We each are within a certain karmic flux at all times on this planet. And this great karmic board is constantly within us adjudicating. How much will we allow the great karmic board to come into our beings as a physical manifestation and train us and guide us and direct us? It's always the question of your free will. And so by saying it, at least we're aware that there are these forces, these personalities of consciousness that would have us grow. I search the entire karmic record of all my past lives and its presentation in this life now. What you experience in this life is not separate from past lives. The momentums of your past lives become apparent in this life. Whatever karmic situations that you're living with in this life were actually your experiences in last life, and you're given another opportunity to work them through. In this life now, I identify, transmute, and transform. We have the positive capacity to say we're going to change things here. All latent and active, returning mental, emotional, physical, astrological debts and patterns deprived of frozen children, such as, now there's a whole teaching on frozen child processing. You'll see it in the pages that I scroll through in a few moments here. You can go into that and you can read it. It's a very valuable lesson on how to transmute something. And it does work. It brings change. It changes through, another way of looking at it is sort of time traveling, because you're time traveling to a different space and assuming the time of that, assuming your presence in that time. So read through all of this, but we'll just say something such as unworthiness, something that a child would experience would be, that would freeze them, would be a shock of some kind, a shock of abuse. The shock of abuse, let's say that. Such as the shock of abuse. Then continuing. Seemingly affecting, because that shock of abuse is constrained in the dual human ego. Once we get out of it and live the reality of the oneness, everything is seemings. It's not real. And it has no power. But we have to begin to realize that. The seemingly affecting or influencing any person, place, condition, process, or thing I have wronged at any time, including, and you can name your seeming enemies. And this is, I'm going to scroll through it. You'll see this is instruction if you'd like to look at it. Download your free copies of Samadhi Game at samadhigame.com and read through it if you'd like. We'll go over this in more detail in another show. But today I just want to take us through it. There's a picture of the violet, purple, ruby ray. If you want this idea of love and willingness, the volition and the love coming together to change things out of passion. And then we're going to continue on with the mantra, this worded matrix of enlightenment. I am the full understanding and complete self-mastery over the causes and cores of these so-named conditions of seeming limitation, as well as all seeming yet to be named. We're going to have a lot of seeming to be named throughout our life. By the law of forgiveness and grace, 70 times 7, I see clearly into the shells of the dual human ego consciousness and its resulting situations. It's by forgiveness that we see clearly. If we don't forgive, we are seen in a distorted view. And we have to see clearly in order to transmute, in order to change, in order to move forward, and to give our gift gone even more completely than we do today. I am ruby ray power and violet compassionate transmutation, blazing through the cause, effect, record, and memory of these snakeskins. Here and now, reconciling limitations born from fear and desire, and ascending into the perfection of my unique I am presence, samadhi, and sexual essence. As the omniscient yoga of oneness that I am, I reach into the storehouse of my causal body with your great and loving arms of light, drawing forth 10 times more substance of life than was misqualified. Of that life substance I fashion a unique, healing form of the sacred fire, a perfectly suited antidote for each shadowy shape, process, and condition. This is a core of healing, being able to shape this substance of eternity, the substance of love, this divine afflatus. Shape it because it has physical substance. Shape it into a healing, potent shape that will mesh with the karmic tendency in such a way that it is able to woo it into the shape that you desire, the new shape of your life. I ascended forth this instant to balance tenfold every debt to every part of life. I give thanks and I accept it done this hour in full power. As the omnipotent purpose that I am, I dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile all karmic momentums of my past, present, and future, all distorted shapes of duality, doubts, fears, desires. Each of these things has a shape to it. And most of these shapes you'll find of doubt, fear, it can be seen in the auric emanation, even the physical stature of a person. Desires and seeming forces of opposition within my own world and cross-currents of the human ego throughout the earth. It's that Tai Chi master, that karate master knows how to take the shape of his opponent and change it into his beneficence. To his benefit. I now cast all shadowy shapes created of the dual human ego, cause, effect, record, and memory, into the boiling sea and consuming fire of forgiveness, reconciling, replacing, and depolarizing, healing, and making art of the frequencies of the dual human ego, with the eternal, perfect, and ascended shape and feeling tone of the healthy, playful, and creative I am Samadhi. I flash ruby ray power and the violet lightning of divine love through all my spiritual, sexual, social, recreational, romantic, personal, family, domicile, dietary, health, medical, career, financial, business, political, and legal affairs. As the omnipresent void of eternity that I am, I capture the brains, bodies, and consciousness of every individual associated with these affairs, including, and you can name those that you are involved with. Whoever you're involved with, of course, has a certain key to your karmic tendencies, your karmic records, pluses and minuses. It's all karmic, whether it's plus or minus, positive or negative. It's the great masters of this world have understood how to balance positive and negative in such a way that it becomes beautiful, it becomes healing, it becomes artistic, rather than harmful. I illumine, including producing that purity, purpose, perfection, protection, and pointed direction. Pointed direction. I illumine them all with the light of that truth, dharma, and authenticity, and keep that light forever self-sustained in the eternal glory and victory of that love, by the power, the activity, and the authority, the omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence that I am. I speak to my untransmuted karma and to every discordant or limiting condition, judgment, deprived, or frozen child that would seek to repolarize and imbalance my dual human ego, that would seek to throw me into one of those sides of the polarity so that I am not the master coming from that neutral witness within. Including the fears and the desires of circumstance and presence, that abstract polarity that we're dealing with today. Dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of witnessing. Dissolve, consume, transmute, and reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of that witness, that single-eyed consciousness, that cyclopean vision. Dissolve, consume, transmute, or reconcile by the ruby ray and the radiant violet light of the all-seeing eye. I see you in process and perfect now. My world is filled to overflowing the brilliance, perfection, and presence of I Am Samadhi. I strip from you all thou noble appearance of duality. Duality has its place, and if we only criticize it and don't give it its due share of attention that it needs in order to grow beautifully as a piece of art, this noble appearance of art, all power to limit, harm, or disturb me, to judge, confuse, or intimidate me, past, present, or future. This dual human ego will and must accede to the oneness of I am that I am. It must come into that alignment so that it understands who is in charge and act as the tool of rather than the nemesis of that oneness. I walk henceforth as the quenchless fire of the shining void, and I know nothing. I do not know, and hence I am free. I am now and forever free. And this is a fiery affirmation. This affirmation brings fire into our consciousness, fire into our souls, and says, I am a flame of the divine. I bring light, I bring truth, I bring judgment to everything that stands in my sphere of awareness. If you're just joining us, Samadhi Game is a beautiful and fun path of enlightenment, but it also has the cut of the edge of this two-edged sword that we're taking out of the sheath and swinging around. This two-edged sword, this magic, this magic of the two-edged sword that shines and glistens as it swings through consciousness. I'm just going to let in the cat. Hold on for a second. Come on. Come on. There you go. So I read the disclaimer at the beginning of this broadcast. If you missed that, you might want to go back and hear that again. But it's a disclaimer that shows just exactly what you're getting into when you start working with the game of samadhi in a conscious way. It's an acceleration. It's an amplification of everything that goes on in this world for you. And that makes it very interesting. So stay with it. I encourage you to stay with it. It makes life much more abundant. I am come that ye might have life and that more abundantly. I am come that ye might have life and that more abundantly. I am come that ye might have life and that more abundantly is the dictum of the process of this path. It's not as though life becomes a boring, drab existence as you find your way into this path. A boring, drab, away from the world, living in a cave, someplace existence. No. Even all those great gurus and meditators who live in the great heights of the Himalayas eventually have to come forth in order to complete their dharma and give to this world their gift. So in this day and age, it's not about going into recluse, becoming a monk someplace in some monastery. It's about staying effective in the world and bringing forth this truth of the divine all the way down into the physical. Completely different perspective of spirituality than was henceforth brought forth on this planet of having to withdraw from the world, go into a cave and meditate. It's a balance now of being able to draw from this deepest source and bring it out all at the same time. And that's why these worded matrices are so effective. It has, you must be able to say the word and also feel the silence behind it, feel the om behind it coming forth and out. That is developing a channel that has henceforth been sort of neglected. It hasn't been neglected totally. Prayer and singing to the divine all develops this channel. But it's been done pretty much from the footstool kingdom, reaching into the divine. There's only certain people that can exist in the divine. Well, that's not true anymore. We know that we all have the capacity to live as the Christ, to live as the Buddha, to give the gift as the Buddha. And then when we do, our gift will be unique to us. It won't necessarily look like it did Jesus' gift, but some of the same process that he went through and the same process that Buddha went through, those processes you will have to go through. And Samadhi Game's mantras and invocations and insights and awareness-enhancing words help you to understand what those processes are. Yes, it works. Thank you, Kathleen, for being there and listening and being interested and sharing your passions with the group, with the Samadhi Game tribe, and bringing it into focus, this idea that's going to go on and become more and more popular as time goes on. Even if in our day, even if as I sit here and live and then die, these mantras of Samadhi Game don't seem to have any grip in the consciousness of mankind. Eventually they will. Someone will dig out a digital file and go, oh, what's this? Samadhi Game. They'll look at it and they'll read it through and they'll go, wow, this was the beginning of a huge movement that took place in the year 2010, 2011, 2014. They'll say, wow, what was happening back there? What kind of awareness did these people have? And now today, in 2030, everyone's wanting to do this type of work. Everyone. It's a daily part of the lifestyle. Everyone comes together and realizes these mandalas of light. Everyone knows the truth of how words affect consciousness. They all have read Morimoto's experiments from Japan in the late 1900s that point to how words affect consciousness, affect matter. Everyone knows this, and so we all use it. Isn't this amazing? This is one of those things that came out of all that work, and there were people around the globe at that time. But look at this document Samadhi Game. How did we find this on this server here? We thought this was all gone. Someone had downloaded it and saved it in their files, and somehow they shared it on the internet, or they shared it on whatever inter-etheric membrane communication device that they had in the year 2030. Violet Ray Samadhi in action. Let's give this mantra now. Let's give another mantra of the future. I am the violet, compassionate flame. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible pressure, joyous blushing, from beneath my feet to my crown now rushing. Circling 36 feet about me, transmuting and reconciling all duality, dissolving imperfections in my activity. Distilling the liquid light and compassion from the heart of the great central sun, simmering from head to toe in the twinkling light of violet transmuting reconciliation, baking in the roaring fiery furnace of this violet consuming transfiguration, and melting in the unconditional love of Samadhi. I am burning with the violet fire, the ruby ray, and the crystal fire mist, refining every element of my subconscious, conscious, and superconscious awareness, cleansing all toxins and impurities from the cells of my physical body, purifying my bloodstream, strengthening and invigorating my nerves, muscles, and bones, tissues, organs, and glands, and clearing and illuminating my mental, emotional, and memory bodies to be the perfect expression of the compassionate I am Samadhi. In action, in action, in action. As a quivering pillar of the violet flame, Samadhi, I am Vadit miracles of crystal pink love, manifesting as tactfulness. Even though this is a powerful flame that we're invoking, this draws a line in the sand between reality and unreality. It finds that reconciling neutral witness between unreality and reality. Nonetheless, it's tactful. Good morning, how are you? Yes, you look great today, even though that person may look like hell. We use tact. Hey, Cindy, welcome to our program this morning. We're going on and on this morning. I have no intention of stopping until I feel like it today, so you can come and go as you feel need. I see it now. I am one in here now. I love and light. Good, Cindy. So welcome. So glad to have you here with us and have you in the Ustream dialogue box. I don't have time to do this show and to type back at the same time. Sometimes I just a few, but better I'll just talk it. And so we welcome you and all of our guests who aren't yet involved in the Ustream discussion panel. We often have guests that are joining us anonymously. You don't know their name, and we don't know that they're there, but they are. People come and go and see and watch and be a part of it until they feel confident to say, okay, I'm going to put my name down and be a part of the show. We're talking about tactfulness. The need to, even though we may see something coming up, we may say we'll hold back on that wording to someone so that they can be gently wooed. This violet light, this combination of love and volition, it takes a certain, it has within it a compassionate heart. So the change that we're asking for isn't so radical as it creates upheaval. But it takes this gentle process. So level by level by level, we keep raising the vibration until it unnoticeably, it's like the hour hand moving. We don't see it happening, but pretty soon it's on the 12 o'clock line. Sensitivity, we're going to go ahead. The sensitivity of the violet light, the sensitivity of the path, the need to be sensitive to the hearts of others, to be long-suffering, as they say in the Bible, to hold that compassionate heart open, the subtlety of the changes that are needed, the delicacy. If you were doing surgery on someone, you wouldn't just be ripping into them and pulling things apart. You would be very delicately moving your instrument through the tissue until you found exactly that place where you had to remove the diseased portion or to sew up something that had torn within. And very delicately move your instrument out and very delicately sew up without causing harm. But you're still doing some action that wouldn't normally be called for. Politeness. We all know this. Discretion. The need to hold discreetly to certain concepts and ideas, certain intimacies between others. There's a time and there's not a time for these discretions. Thoughtfulness, carefulness, prudence. We want to be prudent with our use of these magical, powerful lights that we command in this world. We want to hold to, we want to culture this light within ourselves in such a way that it grows abundant rather than losing it and spilling it day after day. Skillfulness and diplomacy. Diplomacy, this great, great flame of diplomacy. Being able to be tactful in situations so that we don't cause upset. So that we actually walk a fine line. And there's a time when diplomacy ends. And just we draw the line. We draw the line as tactfully, as diplomatically as possible, and then at a certain point, diplomacy is no longer the viable solution to the situation. We have to take a step down on the ladder of vibration and frequency and say, thus far, no farther. As such, I transmute every dense human egoic shape, pattern, and concept. I am the golden sun disk. This golden, we're visualizing this disk of gold rotating over the solar plexus, holding our solar plexus as calmly as is possible, reflecting all discord so that our solar plexuses can remain solid and calm and harmonious, issuing bolts of ruby ray lightning and violet ray samadhi. This ruby ray, as we were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, is a very purple color. It's a very deep color. And that deep vibration, that deep frequency is the frequency that we use to shatter illusion sometimes. That violet ray, that violet light is more compassionate. It involves more of that we just brought up above, the prudence, the carefulness, the tactfulness, the skillfulness, the diplomacy. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible pressure, joyous blushing, across the face of the earth now rushing. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible pressure, joyous blushing, across the face of the earth now rushing. Radiant, buoyant, whirling, dancing, surging, cosmic, luminous, enhancing, tangible pressure, joyous blushing, across the face of the earth now rushing. Spear points of the mighty Maxim flame, 28 feet long, 144,000 strong, radiating in the I Am name. Raising each and every so-called force of opposition, to the victory of my abundantly flowing prosperity, wealth, and finances, dynamic tantric relationships, radiant glowing health and resilient body, my fun-focused service to life, artful sexuality, passionate spirituality, and my glorious divine plan fulfilled, dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling everything undesirable and imperfect throughout my world of activity. The miracle of our intention, the miracle of our bringing this process to the fore by our speaking it, by making ourselves aware that the process is occurring, that it does occur in our lives. It's like everyone's becoming aware of the Super Bowl. A week ago, you probably didn't know half as much as you know about Peyton Manning as you know today. Because everywhere you turn on the broadcast, there's another broadcast about what's going to happen in the Super Bowl today. And let's talk about the Super Bowl. What do you think's going to happen there, George? And they talk about it with each other until your mind is beginning to think about it. Well, that just is exactly what we're doing with Samadhi Game. We're saying the words, the concepts, the ideas, putting these mandalas of thought into our consciousness so that it enlivens. We start to think in terms of how is it that we're going to move through the day so that we can amplify these ideas. It's really a powerful, powerful teaching here. And I know that this is going to go forward in time. These are the future mantras the mantras of future time, really. Even though there's just a few of us that adhere to them today. In future times, there will be millions that know that this magic of speaking the word rather than just thinking that someone else on a pulpit can speak it, or by thinking that we must go into a silent meditation and not speak anything. We're doing both. We're bringing that silent meditation to the fore. We're being the person on the pulpit. We're being the person on stage, saying the glories of their realization. Dissolving, consuming, transmuting, and reconciling everything undesirable and imperfect throughout my world of activity. The ruby ray lightning is flashing as 10,000 suns, and I am gleaming the brilliant precision elegant perfection and magical transmogrification from within my heart, that transmogrification, that changing of the physical world into something that's beautiful. Download your copy of Samadhi Game and use the EPUB version on your digital media. Use the PDF version on your computer and click on some of the links and look at some of the footnotes and see if you can gain a little bit more understanding. Continuing. Marty Arcturus, O Elohim. We're back into that Elohimic realm. We're talking about mastery, the different archetypical patterns and the different levels of archetypical patterns, whether it be an angel or an archangel or an Elohim. Those archetypical patterns becoming more and more broad, like we did at the beginning of the meditation when we expanded our consciousness from our own body to the room that we sat in, to the neighborhood that we sit in, to the state that we sit in. In a similar like way, an angel, an archangel, an Elohim expands the idea of that consciousness out to larger and larger realms. We're becoming masters of duality. Descend with that light of 10,000 suns and transmute all human fear and desire. We're working with an abstract consciousness concept today of circumstance and presence. On the earth now, the violet light is always witness. The violet light is always cyclopean. The violet light is always bringing that vision of perfection which will not allow the people to perish. And the I am Samadhi is that light. The limitless legions of light now burn with cosmic heat throughout all the world in all dual human egoic shapes and textures, including the fears and the desires of, we have that space that we already worked out earlier if you missed it, circumstance and presence, that duality, melts away before the intimate and infinite love. And witness was the third point between those 2 points of circumstance and presence. That point of witness, of Samadhi. And then we have a picture there of Kuan Yin, this great master from the East, who holds the idea of compassion. This all-forgiving, all-wise, compassionate heart that we have for ourselves, for all of our traumas, for all of our mistakes made. And we move forward, giving our gift, giving that essence of ourselves, practicing patience and long-suffering. Great being, Kuan Yin. Yes. Yes, our Thursday evening show, we start sometime between 10 o'clock and 10:30. And hopefully, usually somewhere between there, not too late. And I know on the East Coast that becomes a late prospect. In the Midwest, it's, an hour later. And in the East Coast, it's 2 hours later. Only the people on the West Coast and out in Hawaii and over in Australia might start to feel like it's a reasonable time for them. But if you can manage to do even a few mantras, a few of these invocations before you sleep, you're culturing your mind with the idea that there is this matrix of perfection that we can actually live into. You're culturing it, and in your dream state will be enlivened by it. And as you wake in the morning, there will be something there for you. And I should say that the dreams, I remember when I first started, early on in my life, I started doing meditations and all of this enlightenment bug had bitten me. And I would meditate late at night and I would pray late into the night. And I always thought, I'm going to have better dreams tonight. Well, that's not necessarily so. These concepts, these ideas that we're bringing to ourselves will often bring sort of an upheaval. Sometimes you'll be restless with your dreams. Sometimes your dreams will be enigmatic symbols. At a certain point, you'll have very vivid dreams and you'll want to note them. You'll want to write them down. So keep a journal by your bed especially on those nights when you're meditating and doing mantras late into the evening, doing prayer late into the evening before bed. Because you're taking the energy of those prayers, the energy of that devotion, that yearning for something more in your life, into a state of dreamland. And oftentimes the answer will come through the images of the dream, so you write those down. It could be very disturbing. Last night, I had a dream. I had a dream of that my mother and father had been taken captive, and they were being held in some sort of institution. It was like it wasn't like a prison. It was like more like a hospital, and they were being held captive there. And then there was another group of people that was in another building, and they were somehow threatening me, and they were the people that took my mom and dad captive, and they were threatening me by threatening mom and dad. And I had gone to the doorway, thinking that I was incognito. I'd gone to the doorway of the institution where mom and dad were being held, and I knocked and I went in and I said, "Hi, I'm here to see Marge and Don Brinkley," and somehow word got out that they had sent a message to the people, and I was all of a sudden in danger because they wanted to capture me too. And so I had to struggle to get out of the waiting room, the reception room that was this hospital where mom and dad were being held. But I was saying, "Please, mom and dad, I need you wherever you are. I'm in trouble. Help me, help me. I'm being pursued." That's what happened to me last night. I haven't even had time to think about it yet. But that was an interesting dream. And I haven't dreamt about mom and dad for a little bit since they're passing a year and a half ago. A few times I've dreamt about them, but not much. So it was a little bit, difficult. So I'm really wanting to do the mantras this morning and get really clear and really set the matrix, set the patterns for the transmutation that can take place as we go through the day, through the weekend. So we're doing these mantras so that today specifically, so that at any point within the day, within the weekend, within the week that we have until Thursday night, and we do more mantras as a group, and then maybe I'll do some spontaneous meditations as well, so impromptu broadcasts are possible. But we're developing that anchor which holds us secure no matter what the outer circumstances, knowing that we have this essence of eternity within us. We have this essence of I amness, which is our true being and is undefiled by the karmic vagaries of time and space. It exists no matter how difficult the outer becomes, unblemished. We may get into the most difficult situations of all life, but this I am that I am samadhi exists within us as a complete refuge, a complete source of renewal, a complete source of regeneration, of resurrection, and of ascension. So that's reality. I'm going to go again to our mantras. These fire rhythms. Some Tao did, and then I'm asked here, did they help you? Oh my, these dreams are powerful. Yes, said Kathleen. And then Cindy says, yes, did they help you? No. In the dream, no. I woke up before I had a chance to realize or see mom and dad. I knew they were in there, in that institution, in that place, but I had given my desire to see them, but before I had a chance to see them, and I was found out, and I had to flee. I had to get away. And then my plea went out, hoping that they would hear me on the inner, Mom and Dad, please know that I'm here and that I'm wanting to see you, and I can't. It was an interesting dream. Let's go into the violet flame, violet fire rhythms. These mantras use another aspect of what we can use. We can use rhyme, rhythm, inflection. All of these things have been used by the poets, by the musicians of all time. And they have used them so that the words that they speak become more powerful, more charged with a helpful understanding, a helpful connection to the divine. And in these mantras that we'll give one of, and then we'll probably end the broadcast at that point. But we're going to give an invocation that invokes these masterful beings, these names of beings who are our names. They're really the names of our higher self, if you want to look at it like that. Beings that deliver to us their momentums, the hope, the momentum of their victory to us, so that we can add that victory unto our own consciousness, our own heart, and we can ascend as did they. So we're going to say those names and do a little invocation so we know where we're going with this rhythmic inflection of devotion. So let's go ahead and go back to the mantras for a few moments here. And go ahead and say together, by the rhythm and authority of that magnificent samadhi, I am and me, and that immortal, victorious, threefold love burning upon the altar of my heart. It's immortal. We affirm that for ourselves. That neutral witness that I am, we affirm that for ourselves. I place myself in concert with. I'm not just an underling of them. I am in concert with. I act with these divine beings. I act with all the agencies of heaven. As Alpha and Omega and the great central sun, Helios and Vesta and the sun of our system. This is from the Greek mythology. The ascended Paramahansa Yogananda. This is from the Hindu reality of someone who walked the path and shared very similar images that I'm sharing with you here today. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Hans Baba. I explained this earlier in the broadcast. If you missed it, you might want to go back and listen to that. Lanello, Claire de Lys, and Sir Launcelot. Names that I love. Lancelot, and it's Lanello, Claire de Lys, and Sir Launcelot. We can give ourselves names like this. I say, the Ascended Master Gregory Donald Brinkley, living super yogi, incredible brilliance. That's a big, long name, but I like it. Saint Germain and Portia. We talked about the Holy Brother and the Holy Brother's divine complement. Portia, also a name from the Shakespearean novels, a name from Greek mythology. The Mahachohan, this great being from the Hindu side that says the overlord of all the different rays of existence. This masterful presence of a person. Omritas, there's this sort of mythological character, Omritas, who was the ruler of a planet that was all violet light, and by the whole population of the planet invoking this type of path of enlightenment that we have here with Samadhi game, where we invoke through our words. We have this tantra of saying the light, of saying the presence, of saying the process. The whole planet ascended. The whole planet, everyone on that planet knew what it was to know bliss and peace and wonder and the giving of the gift gone. Ruler of the violet planet. Archangel Zadkiel and Holy Amethyst. Archangel Zadkiel, you'll see his name in the Bible. These 7 archangels, this is one of the archangels' names. And his divine complement, Amethyst. Higher, these are the angels of the 7th ray, the angels of this violet light, this transmutative power that we can invoke for ourselves. We live it too, not just they, but us too. These are names of ourselves. Mighty Elohim, Arcturus, and Victoria. This is the 7th ray Elohim. We're speaking about these Elohimic levels. Angels, archangels, and Elohim. Bigger and bigger as we go. This Elohimic level, Arcturus, this transmutative Elohimic God consciousness. Sanat Kamara, you'll find the name Kamara in the Hindu text. Lady Master Venus, We all think of Venus as this gorgeous, beautiful, loving planet. So why not say Lady Master Venus? The 7 holy Kumaras, you'll find that in the east. Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl is from the Aztec. A friend of mine here in Albuquerque is a member of the Aztec community, and he shared with me the Quetzalcoatl name. This bird, serpent, father, mother, divine harmony is the name of all of this. In the east, they say Shiva, Krishna. In the west, we say Jesus and Mother Mary. Kuan Yin, the lords of karma, and the hierarchs and beings of the elements. We are entering a new world where all of the distinctions and arrogances that say that only our religion is the best are breaking down. And now today we have this opening of where all these great names can be revered within one consciousness. The hierarchs and beings of the elements, every religion has spoken in some way or another about the elemental forces of being, of nature. Whether they be earth, air, fire, water, gnomes, sylphs, undines, the fiery salamanders. All of us have found them somewhere expressed. To expand and express the violet fire throughout the entire consciousness, being, and world, including all mankind and elemental life, in this miracle of transmutation. To this triumph and victory, I affirm. So we have set the matrix, we have set the consciousness. We didn't just start off. We set a matrix from which we're actually entering into it from this perspective. And now we say this rhythmic mantra, this easy rhythmic mantra, and it goes like this. Om, Om, violet fire, Om, violet flame, Om, neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am Plenna Trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring heart, white lion, a chemical purple cauldron, Purusha's light I am. Let me just say, alchemy is this changing of the dross into the divine. Purusha is this eternal light from the east. I use words both east and west. We don't want to leave anyone out. And we want to use words that have really potent meaning. And the only place we could find meaning of the intensity that I needed for this particular mantra was Purusha. Even the sound of it, Purusha, sounds powerful. Purusha's light, I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, that ruby light we were talking about earlier, golden rays of sunshine, dark night of ego flown. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the violet ray, scintillating prana, truth, dharma, the way. This diamond silence manifesting itself in the outward world of form, taking dominion over the earth. Let's do it again. This time we'll add a little tone. Om, Om, violet fire, Om, violet flame, Om, neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am Plenna Trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hell white lion, a chemical purple cauldron, Purusha's light I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, dark night of ego flown. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the violet ray, scintillating prana, truth, dharma, the way. Om, Om, will I accelerate it just a little bit. We'll increase the vibration and the tempo just slightly. Om, Om, violet fire, Om, violet flame, Om, neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am Plenna Trace. I am amethyst crystal, roaring hell white lion, a chemical purple cauldron, Purusha's that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, like not of ego flown. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the violet ray, scintillating prana, truth, dharma, the way. Om, violet fire, Om, violet flame, Om, neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am violet light of wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am Plenna Trace. grace. I am amethyst crystal, rowing heaven iron, a chemical cup of a cauldron, peruses that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited ego flown. I am diamond silence, gleaming in the divided bay, scintillating in front of tooth, dharma the way. You have to be sort of amused with the fact that we're actually trying to mouth these words faster and faster and get everything to work properly. It's sort of amusing. Let's give it a couple more times and then we'll go on to that Om, that great Amen. Om body fire, Om body flame, Om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light, wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuting all desire. I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rowing heaven iron, a chemical bubble cauldron, peruses that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited ego throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming in the vital ray, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om body fire, Om body flame, Om neutral witness, dissolving fear and shame. I am vital light, wisdom, joy, and grace, transmuted no desire. I am planet trace. I am amethyst crystal, rowing heaven iron, chemical bubble cauldron, peruses that I am. As the vast blue ocean, a rosy ruby stone, golden rays of sunrise, ignited ego throne. I am diamond silence, gleaming on the abided way, scintillating prana truth, dharma the way. Om, which is to say Amen. Om, which is to say Amen. Om, which is to say Amen, whether you're east or west oriented. Om, the sounding of that soundless sound, the sounding of the shining void, the naming of that word which was incarnate, the word which was before God. Om. Now we've said a lot. And just for a few more moments, let's just sit in the silence and feel the resonations of these words that we've said, and feel them how they impinge upon our own consciousness and how they might impinge upon others as well, hopefully in a positive way, as they move outward from the sphere of your heart outward and creating this envelope of light around you. Silence. Finally. Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, those who have joined us anonymously on the broadcast today. Thank you for all of those who listen in to these broadcasts and the archived versions, which are available on our Ustream channel, Samadhi Game, on ustream.tv, USTREAM.tv. You'll find us as Samadhi Game there. You can sign in, create your identity there. Or you can go to the website Samadhi Game and find the Ustreams archived there as well. Or you can find the archives on Facebook by going to Samadhi Game Tribe on Facebook and clicking on the link towards the top of the page called Events. Ustream I think it's called Ustream. Let me just go to it and see right now. I'll go to Samadhi Game. I'll even show you. We'll bring it up here on the page. Here's the page. And there's the Ustream link right there. See that where the cursor is. Clicking on that will take you to, let's see what happens when I click on it here. I've never done this. Oh, I've done it a few times, but let's see if we can click on it. Takes you to a page right here. It'll take a little longer to download because I'm broadcasting and it's taking up some of my bandwidth. Takes you to the page. Right there, you'll see there. And all I have to do is click on that. That would give me the live broadcast right now. And I think you'll see here on the right-hand side, you'll see that was yesterday's show, Coping with Your Brilliance, Intelligence, and Mortal. There's the beautiful Robbie, Mrs. Robbie Brinkley right there. Warm Up for Super Bowl Samadhi, that was last week's. There's two. It somehow got cut in two. So there's two portions. There's portion 1 and 2. I don't know why I have it labeled. Well, I'll have to go back and label one of those 1, I think. Anyway, you'll see, you can go to the archives, you can look at other broadcasts and shows. And for those of you that are looking at archived versions, thank you for joining us. Go to Ustream and create an account there so we can have you on the broadcast with us. And sending love to you, Kathleen, to Cindy, to Robbie, who didn't make it today. She slept in with Dante. So we're having a lazy Sunday morning for some of us in the Brinkley family here. Happy Super Bowl to you tomorrow. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the festivities. Feel as by the way, if you're taking up the path of Samadhi game, you're taking up a path of heightened sensitivities. And at some point you'll feel how people coming together influence consciousness. And you'll feel with 100,000 people in the stadium there in New Jersey and millions around the world tuning in to the same events, you'll begin to feel the presence of consciousness moving. So feel that and see how that feels. Eventually, there will be millions of people joining in with Samadhi game mantras, and you'll see how consciousness moves on the planet. This is something that they realized in planets that have ascended, planets that have gone beyond this planet in the way of consciousness. I know that's a far-out concept. It involves, there's life on other planets, everything like that. Aliens! They don't necessarily, everyone everywhere is dealing with the same forces of the infinite and the same possibilities for expansion everywhere in this universe. And depending on how they've taken it, millions of different ways and frequencies of existence, they will either be peaceful or aggressive. But many, many people all throughout the universe, I believe, have found that this path exists. It's the one true path. It's the path of the Sanatana Dharma, the path of the oneness that we are striving for. And everyone everywhere must come to this path eventually, whether you're on planet Earth or planet Xeno. I just made that up. Anyway, much love to you. I'm going to leave you with some more aloha music from Hawaii, because Mom and Dad loved Hawaii, and I woke up this morning and thought I wanted to play some Hawaiian music. So here it is. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the ending of the show here with the aloha music. And we'll see you again, hopefully Thursday night. Even if it's late, try to tune in, Cindy. Just a few mantras, and then to bed you go. Okay, love you. Love you all. Bye.
Kani kani me kauhane Kani lepo mai kupu oe Kahele ana Ho'okipa and amakaina Ho'okipa and amakaina kepala kan ibu vai ika pilia ka hele ana o ole no ena o ivi o he no ena o ivi kani hu enalani kani leoha ikapilia ka hele ana ho'ola aku puna ho'ola aku puna ho'ola mai ne ho'ola mai ne kapili vai ha na kupuna vai ha kapili vai ha na makua mai ha na hea e o e o e o e o e o Emana opanoi kupa apanoi hemeleno kupua e kamana o Emana opanoi kupa apanoi hemeleno kupua e kamana o ka ele ku pa apono kupa apono kaulana vale oi hemele no kupua e kamana o kaulana vale oi ko ha ha oi hemele no kupua e kamana o he ho he no pili ka vai ka ele ku pa apono oi ko ha oi kalama lama oi emele no kupua e kamana o kalama lama oi he no aka ele ku emele no kupua e kamana o mana opanoi, he mana opanoi, he mana opanoi.